I didn't. They did. But by the time 6 waves, they had withdrawn pretty well. We started getting it after we got ashore. We're not coming in, but after we got ashore, they had pulled back, and then sort of charged us a little bit. We had to. What my party did, being in the field out here, our guns were behind it. We weren't. That 6 wave, we didn't have a gun. That was our advance party. We had to go in and set up a fire direction center, some way to control our guns. When they got ashore. Well, they were quite a while coming ashore. So in the meantime, we just had to kind of fend for ourselves and scout out and find a place that we could possibly good gun position and get things ready for our guns, which we hoped would be coming in soon. We never knew when. So there was a little bit of firefighting going on. I don't remember getting shot at much, but I was there. There wasn't a whole lot of firefighting, as we call it, at that landing. The fighting came later. We had a shortwave radio, and we could hear the foreign correspondent, the war correspondents. We didn't see many of them with us. They were all back somewhere, but a couple of them were. The war correspondents would file their reports off. They had a communication ship out behind us, out in the bay, and they would send shortwave reports back to the United States, and we could hear them. So we could hear MacArthur sending a report back to the United States. Leyte, we've landed. The situation is well in hand. Mopping up operations are in process. Well, we thought, they ain't mopping up. It's just getting started good, because we were outnumbered. We had one division, part of one division on, maybe 20,000 people, and we knew for a fact from intelligence reports there were several 100,000 Japanese on that island. They didn't know how many we had. I don't know whether I told you this or not, but when we had that march tearing down from Lingayen Gulf, two day, just barrel down into Manila to free the prisoners in Santo Thomas University. We were just a single line going. Well, there was another single line, over on the other side of the island going down, but we beat them in because they ran into deeper, where they were a little higher up, and their ravines, their bridges were blown, ours were blown, but they had more trouble getting across the rivers than we did. So we beat them in. But they thought, the Japanese, we captured some of their maps, and they thought, according to their maps, our two single lines coming down, they thought was the whole front. They thought the front was all the way across Luzon. They didn't know, there again, communication. They didn't know who we were or how many we were. They just saw that we were a great big army. We were just two little squadrons, just ripping down the street, down the road. So they didn't give us a whole lot. A little bit of opposition going down, not much. We didn't have trouble. In fact, we only had to fire one time, I think, of artillery. We never did fire from there, but every time we'd stop, we'd go into position, get ready. We'd pull off the side of the road, get ready, get our guns, what they call laid, get them set, get them oriented, get our forward observer up there, find out where we get everything organized. And okay, march order, let's go again. We'd have to pack them all out. But there you go.
And then you said you marched into Manila to link up with the other forces to eventually liberate the Santo Tomas University, the prisoners that were there.
No, we didn't link up with anybody. We did it. We eventually linked up with them, yes. But when we first went in there, that was our main purpose. That was our main mission at that time, was to get in, liberate those prisoners in Santo Thomas University. So we ripped through the streets of Manila. There was a lot of firefighting. We had to fight our way through the streets of Manila because the Japs were all the buildings shooting at us, and we were going, And as I say, the tank broke the gates down, and we went in, and the Japanese surrendered. They were garrisoned, except I think there were 40 of them that barricaded themselves in the education building, which was in the center of the campus, upstairs. And they took hostages. They had hostages up there. So we started negotiating. Well, I didn't, but the the colonels, a few people in charge, started negotiating with them to turn the hostage loose, and they wouldn't do it. So they finally negotiated, said, "We will let you go." I mean, that was their condition. Let us go, escort us out to the gate, turn us loose. Don't, don't let us, just turn us loose. We'll let the hostage. So that's what they did. Well, here they came marching. I saw them, march right by about 40 of them marching down. And then I think we booed them a little bit, maybe something. They marched right there, very stoic, not looking right or left out. You know how they are, or by the way they were. Out to the gate, and our hostages were released. We were all right. And they hadn't gone. They were out now amongst the civilians in Manila. They hadn't gone 100 yards before we started hearing small arms fire. And I'm sure all those Japanese were dead within 10 minutes. Because they were unarmed. And the civilians killed them. So that, I assume that's what happened. I didn't have anything to do with it. We wouldn't shoot an unarmed man. Yeah. One time, you couldn't trust them. One time I was involved, my battery was supporting a unit, and they were held up. They couldn't move, and there was something on top of a fairly steep little mound, hill. There was one Japanese sniper up there. Everybody, all the other Japs had been run off or killed. There was one guy up there that was holding off a whole troop with his sniper fire. Had plenty of ammunition. And they just couldn't, nobody could stick their head up. Bam, So finally, some mountain climbers or some wall scalers went around behind, real steep, and scaled up the bare face of that, got up behind him and shot him, killed him. He was in a spider foxhole, a standing foxhole. And by that time, I wasn't there, but my forward observer was with this outfit, and he had 2 men. And they walked up, and everybody was standing around and said, "Man, look I want to see that guy that held up a troop for half a day. Boy, he's something." He was all slumped down dead in the foxhole. So some soldier, without going against orders, reached down, to get a souvenir or something, unbuckled his backstrap, and the whole hole blew up. He booby trapped himself and killed 2 or 3 of our guys. Not mine.